Now, if you didn't think Kevin O'Leary was a bozo before, you are definitely going to think he is now. In this clip, we are going to see Kevin O'Leary clearly call for the Trump administration to commit war crimes within Iran in regards to bombing bridge after bridge and making life miserable for the Iranian people. And Abby Phillips has to check him and fact check him on it because, like I said, it's a war crime. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end. Let's get into it.
Tonight, the prospects for a deal to end the war in Iran are grim as President Trump more seriously considers resuming combat operations. Sources tell CNN that Trump is frustrated with how Iran has handled talks, and he met with his national security team tonight at the White House to discuss his options moving forward. Iran offered its counterproposal for peace, which demanded recognition of Tehran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, compensation for war damage, lifting of sanctions, and releasing frozen assets. Trump called that totally unacceptable, and then he went further with this dire prognosis today.
After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.
Oil prices climbed today on the heels of the news, with Brent crude rising to more than $100 a barrel. In an effort to tamp down on surging gas prices, Trump told CBS News he wants to suspend the federal gas tax, which is a little over 18 cents a gallon. That, however, would require action from Congress. All of this seems to suggest what a lot of people have been saying for a while, which is that fundamentally the White House is grappling with the fact that they have not changed Iran's behavior. They have not changed their psychology or their thinking about nuclear weapons, about what they want out of this settlement. And so that's why we're where we are.
Yeah, I've talked to a number of high-ranking military and foreign policy people over the last couple of weeks. And honestly, everybody thinks you're just going to wind up back in a place here where you're going to have to attack these people again if you want them to believe that you're serious about enforcing your edict. And the edict is simply you can't have a nuclear weapon. So that's number one. Number two, on the gas tax issue, it feels to me like there actually might be some bipartisan momentum for doing that thing in Washington. I think most people would agree that sounds like a good idea. And number three, the wild card in all of this to me is the president's trip to China, because obviously China gets all this oil from Iran. My suspicion is this topic will be on the table for President Trump to talk to President Xi about and see if they can bring some Chinese pressure to bear to help end it. So I think this is a pivotal week because the China meeting in the middle, but also, you know, let's be honest, if he's saying the ceasefire is like at 1%, you know, life support, you know, to me, what I hear, attacks, you know, will begin imminently.
Well, you know, this is a pretty big change from what he has been saying for weeks. Trump has been saying that they're close to a deal, that Iran is about to capitulate. Listen.
We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. That's number one. That's number 1, 2, and 3. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
They said yes to that?
They've agreed to that. Well, they're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things. Most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to.
It seems like that was very much not true.
Yeah, I think the issue, there's lots of issues with this war, but one of the primary ones as a citizen of this country is it just doesn't feel like we're getting the truth from this administration. And it feels like we're not getting the truth from this administration because they aren't clear on how to get out of a thing that they got into. I understand we do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but when I hear you say we have to attack them again, we did, and we were told we did back in June, and we were told that we got rid of all of their stockpiles, and we did it again, and now they were on the ropes, and now we're having to do it again. So it feels like those two things can't be true at the same time, and the marker just keeps moving, and I worry that if the marker keeps moving further and further, that at some point perhaps troops do have to go. We've also heard that the only way to truly get their enrichment to get it out, we'd have to send people in, and so that makes me nervous. I do hear on the gas prices, yeah, Americans are suffering. They're suffering because of this war and other things, and maybe there'll be bipartisan support. But the other side of that is that it's a short-term solution, because then they still have to raise the taxes up again. So
yeah,
it just
it's
feels
like
we're
putting a Band-Aid on a bigger problem.
On a cancer.
The problem is that the Strait of Hormuz is
Not a
closed.
broken leg.
They don't have a plan to reopen it, and it sounds like even this idea of suspending the gas tax seems to suggest that the president thinks this is going to go on for a long time.
North America does not have a problem with access to energy or oil. Between the Canadians and what is domestically brought out of the ground, we have an abundance of nat gas and oil. The problem we have is it's priced internationally, where people have limited supplies as a result of this strait being closed down. So it's very easy to drop the 18 or 16 cents off. If the Congress wants to do that, they can. The bigger issue around getting Iran back to the negotiating table, one of the strategies is to do further tenderization. And what I mean on that is, don't kill people. Just tell them, look, you don't have any Air Force anymore. We're going to go in and take out bridge by bridge by bridge by bridge by bridge, and just make it really friggin' miserable for your people until you come to the table, get rid of the nuke and the processed uranium, whatever that is, 96 pounds, and you admit that you do not own the strait, and you let the people, because by the way, because I agree with Scott, when he gets to China,
Iran intentionally, that's inching very close to a war crime.
Why is that a war crime?
Also, they don't care.
Because you have to have a military rationale for attacking civilian infrastructure.
You're saying that they're bringing troops over these infrastructures?
Well, look, I'm just saying, you just said it, the point was to make life miserable for Iranians. That would not be a sufficient rationale for doing what
the problem with that, I fundamentally agree with you. We may have to go back in. Making life miserable for the people of Iran, that's what the regime already does.
Exactly.
They make their life miserable. What I would just slightly modify the position to say we have to make life miserable for the regime.
Well,
and we did that with the layer that we already took out.
Causes huge headaches.
But that's the question: is can you do the military thing in a way that the regime, it's not tenable for the regime?
That's why I like tenderizing. Tenderizing is better. Don't kill people. Tenderize.
Well,
I don't know what that
killed.
means. I've never heard of tenderize in war. But I will tell you there are two fundamental problems with that. The average price of gas right now is like $4.50, $4.52. And that is a problem for the American public. What Donald Trump is signaling by saying that he wants to eliminate the gas tax, we've seen everybody who's running for governor throughout the South say they want to eliminate their state gas tax or freeze it. It's the ploy of the Republican Party, as if voters don't know why gas prices are so high now. What he's signaling, though, is that gas is going to get to $5 or $5.25, and you're going to have to pay that price. Then you're going to have to phase that tax back in. What Americans don't want is for you to take something away and then phase it back in so it raises the cost. To get to Scott's ultimate goal, which actually is my ultimate goal, we share the same goal, which is to make sure that we have a denuclearized Iran. Don't know if that's a word, but we want to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. The only way you can do that is to have United States military boots on the ground. That's the only way you can do that. That's the only way you can destroy their nuclear arsenal. And that is another cost to the American public. I just wish Pete Hegseth, I have to always slow down when I pronounce his last name, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump would look into the camera and tell the American public the truth. Like, just tell us the truth, because right now they're not.
But that's why the last segment is so relevant. That is actually why they're trying to redraw the maps, is because they can't tell the truth and still win. They just can't. It's not a popular.
Nobody knows the outcome of the war. You don't know if any boots on the ground yet. At some point.
Well, most military experts have said that.
In order, and I mean, Scott would agree with me, I believe, on this point. In order to actually destroy their nuclear arsenal, the only way you can get to their nuclear arsenal is to have military boots on the ground.
You do know they're losing $208 million a day in income.
And the other point I want to make is that while we may not know when the war is going to end, I can tell you that Donald Trump told me this was going to be a 1 week thing, a 2 week thing, a 3 week thing.
I don't think you can call it. No president knows when a war starts.
Well, then why
don't
lie
say
to me? Don't
I think
don't pee on me and tell me it's raining, right? I mean, it's like,
how do you know when it's going to end? You don't know.
Exactly.
That's
Don't tell the president
point.
that.
I think that everybody in Tennessee knows.
Tell your buddy that.
I'm sorry. Do you agree? I thought you agreed with me.
I agree with you that some personnel could be required. The question is under what conditions? Is it a negotiated diplomatic condition where they say, okay, we know you're coming in, you're going to get the stuff and move. Is it an international force? Have you agreed to ongoing monitoring? Is it Americans? Is it other countries?
You're talking about fighting boots, right?
And I am.
But do you think that's even on the table, though, Scott? Because it seems like
I think that's what the president wants. It's a question of whether Iran will accept it. I'm a little skeptical just because of the way they've been acting against Iran, and we appear to be negotiating with different groups of people at different times, which I'm sure makes it difficult. So I agree with you about needing personnel. The conditions under which they go in, to me, is still very much up in the air.
All right. Next for us, the president is demanding that the government.
So honestly, Kevin O'Leary is such a bozo. It's crazy. The fact that he even had the gall to say that. You see, this is another example of a billionaire being so far removed from reality that they don't even know that the thing that's coming out of their mouth is a goddamn war crime. It's a war crime. Now, I done my own research. You heard what it is that Abby said in regards to there needs to be military rationale for the reasoning as to why you're bombing those bridges. But if literally, as everything he just explained is perfectly summed up as a war crime, if your aim is to take out bridge after bridge in order to make the Iranian people's lives hell, then there's no military rationale behind that, because the normal Iranian people, it is not their duty or their obligation to do anything from a military standpoint. They are simply just living their life, getting around and utilizing bridges to do that. So the fact that it is that he said, go ahead and bomb bridge after bridge until they come to the table, that literally is the definition of a war crime. And it goes back to literally what I said. I said it yesterday in the video, and I also said it earlier on today in the earlier clip that I done on Newsnight. These people are so far moved from reality that they don't even have a clue on the things that it is that they're speaking about. And Kevin O'Leary is one of them. And he can say all of this stuff and have the energy to say it in the way in which he did, simply because it doesn't affect him. The cost of this war is not affecting or phasing people like Kevin O'Leary. He doesn't give a damn about this. He doesn't. And the reason why he doesn't give a damn is because he is insulated from rising costs of goods. He's insulated from the price going up at the pump, because guess what? He doesn't do any of these things. Do you think Kevin O'Leary goes to the store to go and buy groceries? I think not. Do you think Kevin O'Leary goes to the gas station to fill his car up with gas? I think not. Anything that would affect someone like Kevin O'Leary, it doesn't affect him. And that's the reason he has the audacity to speak the way that it is that he does, because it doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect him at all. And then let's sprinkle in on top of that the fact that he's a friend of Donald Trump. That's the reason why it is such a stupid comment, bomb bridge after bridge and make life miserable for the people of Iran. And you know what makes that what's even worse about that is that Donald Trump said he's going to be the savior of these people that Kevin O'Leary just said to make life miserable for. So which one is it? Which one is it? Are you going to save the people of Iran? Or do you want to make people in Iran's life miserable? We know the answer. Donald Trump didn't even believe what he said when he says he wants to go and save and help the Iranian people. That's the reason why they killed over 130 Iranian girls in Iran. That's exactly the reason. These people are sick and they're demented in the head. And it shouldn't be no surprise. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this clip down in the comment section below. Do all the usual stuff. Hype the video if you think the video was of value. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload a brand new video. Appreciate you guys. And as usual, I will see you guys in the next clip.